Oh, I'm feeling so good today. Oh, that I can't stop dancing and staying in front of the screen. Oh, that's a dance, dance, dance. How does that song go? Dance, dance, dance. Just keep on dancing. Dance, dance, dance. I feel just like that. Woo! That vitality and that healing power is just blowing mightily in me. It's just so powerful. Oh, so powerful. Oh, the anointing of God. I get over there and I say, well, I'm going to go over and pray for the anointing. I'm going to pray for that healing power and to get under that spout. And I think, well, it's just one of those routine things I do. And then I get over there and I actually pray for it. And God actually does it every time. And He gets me and I start just moving. And pretty soon I'm dancing and I can't stop. And I'm just so happy. And I just feel that healing vibrations going all over me. So, I'm going to keep on praying in that same way because I am just so enjoying this. It's so marvelous what God does. And we are studying in the book of Colossians. And boy, I tell you what, St. Paul is just laying that out, just laying her on the line. I mean, he's not quibbling about it at all. He's telling us exactly the way it is, and then he says it, and then he says it again, and then he says it again, and another way to make sure you got it. And so all through 1 and 2, he's just been saying that again about how risen we are and how far above this world and how we are with Christ in the heavens and how we are to leave behind the world and go and move with Christ and all these kinds of things and how Christ is the head of the church. And so we were up to chapter 3. We had just ended chapter 2 and it is now 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time in the USA. And we're going to continue on with chapter 3. And I think he's going to repeat it again in chapter 3 where he's going to say, if you'd have been risen with Christ, you need to act like it, Woo! Act like it, dance like it, feel like it. Like the one guy said, my doctrines are look good, feel good, and smell good. And all those things, just like you're risen from the dead. Oh, my goodness, just act like you're a risen Son of God. And so he goes on and he just keeps on emphasizing that point. In chapter 3, he says, if ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ sitteth at the right hand of God. Oh, yes, he said, I'm going to remind you where Jesus is. I'm going to remind you that he's right there with God, the God that is omniscient, omnipresent, and all-powerful in this, and runs this whole show. Oh, runs the universe. And Jesus is right there with them, and you have been risen together with him. If you've got into that, and if you have done what he's been saying, and you have gone to Jesus for those rivers of living water that flow out of your innermost being, you've come unto him for the understanding, asked for the understanding, asked to be raised with him, asked to be a part of him, and all these things that you do, which is, all wrapped up in what they sometimes summarize as being born again, being saved, being born again, being a part of Christ, being one with Christ, all these ways which we express that. If you've done that, then you have risen with Christ. It's just like when you buried with him in baptism, demonstrating that his death, and then rose up out of the watery grave to new life. And then you've come up out of the grave just with him, just as he come up out of the grave, and you're now risen with him, and you're now there with him at the right hand of God, Not God's right hand person. I don't mean not the second in power to God. I mean you're there with Jesus and in Jesus, where Jesus is, and Jesus is at the right hand of God. Whoa! And so we know then why we can get healed so easily when we really understand that. We don't just say it as a matter of terminology and just as a matter of rote memory, but we actually understand what it means to be risen together with Christ, and we actually understand what our position is now, and then we know we're right there with the great healing power. We're right there with all that omnipotence and omnipresence and omniscience.